Welcome to 1-3 Variables and Expressions. Today's objectives are evaluate expressions containing variables and then translate variable phrases into algebraic expressions. Before we begin that, we have three key terms. Variable, which is defined as a placeholder for any value. Algebraic expression contains sums, differences, quotients, and or products of variables and numbers. Below you'll see four different expressions. The first one, we have x plus 2. X is the variable, x plus 2 is the expression. Our next one, 4h minus 5, another expression. When we have variables and numbers or constants in front of them, that means to multiply. Then we have mn, which is another expression. When we have two variables next to each other, that is also multiplication. Our last expression is y over 3, which means y divided by 3. When we get into word problems, we're going to start defining our variable, which means choosing a variable and a quantity for the variable to represent in an algebraic expression. As stated in our first objective, we're going to evaluate an expression, which is x plus y minus 9. In order to evaluate this expression, we must be given the information x is equal to 15 and y is equal to 26. What we will do now is substitute with the information given. So my x will become 15, my y will become 26 minus 9. Alright, what we're going to do first is do some mental math. 15 plus 26, 41 minus 9, and then 41 minus 9 is 32. That is our answer. That is how you evaluate. Alright, we have three more problems to evaluate. We have k is equal to 2, m is equal to 7, and n is equal to 4. We'll use that information to substitute into the three different expressions that we have. So in A, we'll go 6, and if we remember that m is 7, we'll put it in parentheses to remind us that it is multiplication, minus 3 times k, and k is 2. Alright, we will do some mental math. 6 times 7 is 42, minus 3 times 2, which is 6. And then we'll go from there. 42 minus 6 is 36, and the answer is 36. Problem B, m times n over 2. So we'll substitute 7, put the multiplication sign, n is 4 over 2. According to PEMDAS, we have to do everything on top of the division bar. So 4 times 7 is 28. 28 over 2. And we'll do a mental math, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. There's your answer. Alright, problem number C. We're now going to substitute all the letters, variables. So m becomes 4. I'll put a bracket, and k becomes 2. Plus, and then we have 5m, which is actually 5 times 7 in bracket. Alright, according to PEMDAS, we do everything inside the brackets, and before we do any addition, we should do the multiplication. 5 times 7 is 35, and I can drop the brackets and put parentheses now. Then, of course, according to PEMDAS, everything inside the parentheses. 2 plus 35 is 37. Drop the parentheses. And last but not least, the answer is 41. 4 plus 37 is 41. We have our second objective, which means to translate. So we're going to translate each phrase into an algebraic expression. Letter A, our first problem, says 12 points more than the Dolphins scored. Alright, we need to translate this into algebraic. We know that 12 is 12. More than is the phrase for addition. And we don't know the Dolphins score, so we're going to use a variable. In this case, we'll use n to represent the Dolphins score. Now, we need to put it in a correct order. What we have here is the score the Dolphins have, then they added 12 points. So the answer is n plus 12. I like to think of who is doing the work. In this case, you're adding 12 to the Dolphins' score, so whoever's doing the work, which is 12, comes second. Let's try that with B. 4 times a number decreased by 6. So we have a number, we'll call it n. We're going to multiply it by 4, so 4 next to n means to multiply. Then decreased means to subtract by 6. Alright, now then we need to put that in order. So once again, let's use that little phrase that I said, who's doing the work? It looks like you're decreasing 4n by 6. And that's very important because you're subtracting. And in subtracting, we could get a negative number. So it's very important to know who comes first and who comes second in our expression. Alright, next up we have a word problem. It deals with soccer. The Johnstown Soccer League ranks each team in their league using points. The team gets 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie. We need to write an expression that allows us to find the total number of points a team receives. Right, what we need to do is define two variables. The first variable will be W, and W will be the number of wins a team has. Then I'm going to use the variable T to represent the number of ties. Anyway, we do not know how many wins they have or how many ties they have, but I do know that there's 3 points for each win plus 1 point for a tie. And that gives us our expression because we're using addition to find out the total. Part B says, suppose in one season the North Rockets had 17 wins. So W is equal to 17 and 4 ties. So T is equal to 4. How many points did they receive? Alright, to find the total number of points, we are going to plug in W, which is 17. And we're going to plug in T, which is 4. And because W is next to 3, we'll multiply. We get 51. And 1 times 4 is 4. And we multiply because 1 is next to the letter T. And we just go ahead and simplify that. 51 plus 4 is 55 points.